many apps I got before you get the picture.
What's the deal, y'all? It's Pete Thuggin back at it again with another video, and I got some new content for y'all. But before we get into it, if you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit the like button on this video below, hit the subscribe button, and turn on my post notifications so that you don't miss out on any latest news and interesting topics on YouTube. This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Everything being presented in the videos is meant to be enjoyed. It's not meant to be taken as factual evidence or legal advice. Today, the topic that I'm going to be covering is with the flyboys, but to be more specific, bandz. Everyone can pretty much agree that bandz had the eyes on him when he was released from custody, dominating the music scene for the Stockton area, while EBK JAAYBO was locked up, leading him to get signed with a major record label, Capitol Records. Showing his people that there is still a chance at success even when you feel you're blackballed, bandz had ran into a major setback in his career when some old charges that he was questioned for in the past brung its way back to hunt him and ultimately lead to him getting booked for a capital murder charge that stemmed from a situation that occurred around 6 years ago. Not a lot of people expected it to be this severe for bandz, considering he had just went down a few months prior to the arrest for a sting that Stockton PD put together with Sacramento FBI called Operation Boogeyman, and he was able to post bond with the help of his lawyer, Claire White. Even when the odds aren't in your favor, bandz has taken a major step in his case and has decided to do a speedy trial, which took place this month on the 16th. Everything will be let out in the courtroom from what is alleged that took place the day the victim, Elijah Johnson, was murdered. I'll give you guys a little insight on what is being alleged about that case, and I also did a video on it before, which I'll leave in my description below if you're interested in taking a look at that as well. Now, beating a murder charge from a 6-year-old cold case depends on a lot of key factors. The fact that it's a cold case being reopened doesn't automatically hurt or help you. It comes down to the strength of the evidence, how it was obtained, and how good your defense is. What could help bandz in this case? Better chances at beating this case? Weak or circumstantial evidence. If there's no physical evidence like DNA or fingerprints, no murder weapon, and the case relies mostly on hearsay or unreliable witness memory, the case may be shaky. No new solid evidence. If they reopen the case with nothing but old files and no breakthrough, like DNA tech, a confession, or anything else like that, your lawyer can argue that the case is too weak to hold. Violations of your rights. If police violate your rights during arrest, interrogation, or evidence collected during that time, an illegal search, your defense can file to get that thrown out. What are some things that can hurt bandz in this case? Hard to beat type of case. New strong evidence, DNA matches, a clear confession even from someone else naming you, cell phone, surveillance, or digital evidence placing you at the scene, witness flipping or corroboration. If someone who was silent for 6 years is now talking, especially someone with first-hand knowledge or the incentive to corroborate, it could hurt your chances. Your statements over time, if you gave inconsistent stories in the past interviews or texts, that might come back to damage your credibility. Your prior criminal history, if the prosecution can legally bring up past violent or criminal behavior, it may sway a jury. How could bandz improve his chances of beating the case? He gotta hire a strong criminal defense attorney, preferably one with experience beating cold cases, staying silent and don't talk to law enforcement without your lawyer, while also beginning to build your defense as soon as possible, locating old alibis, witness receipts, or anything that provides your innocence. Be prepped for a plea deal to come your way, whether or not to take one depending on how strong the state's case is. Cold cases are hard to win for the prosecution unless they have something major like DNA, a confession or corroboration, and a witness statement, so your chances of beating it are definitely not hopeless. In fact, many cold cases arrest defense wins because of the burden of proof and the time gap. As of right now, bandz is in the trial setting. He's already had partial hearing from the trial setting, and the next trial setting will be in July. So let's just hope for the best in regards to bandz. Now, I'm just going to give you guys a little background on who the victim was and what they say occurred the day he was murdered. Now, Elijah Johnson was a Lewis Park blood that goes by the name of Eli. Elijah Johnson was shot and killed on a Wednesday in North Stockton, and his girlfriend says week before he passed, he had a strong feeling something was going to happen to him. Now, Elijah was heavily affiliated with the West Side Lewis Park Bloods in the Stockton area, but some argue that at a point in time of his life, he was claiming North Stockton. Even though Elijah was a victim of gun violence, he played a crucial role in the street life and pretty much knew ultimately you're putting a target on your back when you are a part of the streets. Elijah was murdered just one day before his birthday, which left his family and friends in shock. His baby mom was planning a surprise birthday party for him. He was only turning 23 at the time, and his girlfriend had no idea that he was running into his final hours. While she was getting ready and prepped to make his favorite meals, hook up the house, and do all those certain things, the situation took a really bad turn where you had a surprise birthday turn into a funeral planning. Elijah was killed around 12:01 p.m. on a Wednesday in the 1900 block of Comstock Drive in North Stockton. Just like I said before, no one expected for him to stand outside of his grandmother's house and end up losing his life when an unknown person ran up and shot him. According to the Stockton Police Department, Johnson didn't pass away right away. He didn't die on the scene. He was rushed to the hospital in critical condition, which led to him passing away due to his injuries. Detectives immediately ruled the shooting as a homicide, being the 23rd murder in Stockton area in 2019. His wife, then 25, met Johnson when the two were kids. She was 16, he was 14. Even though he was younger than her, she instantly fell for his big personality. She said he was funny, he was loving, caring, and he had a great sense of humor. During their almost 10-year relationship, they were able to reproduce 5 children together, which is 6, 5, and 3 years old, and also having 2 twins. Elijah was initially scared about having twins, but he was more excited than anything. His kids kept him going every day, and his granny too. Even at a very young age, his girlfriend had to tell her children and explain to them that their father was killed. Her son Elijah was lost and just kept saying he wanted his dad. On Facebook, his girlfriend had broke her silence, saying he got shot in a 14-second video on Facebook. Elijah was raised by his grandmother and his step-grandfather. He was at his grandmother's house on Comstock Drive that Wednesday because he had plans to meet with his probation officer right before getting shot. So the only reason that Elijah was in the north area of Stockton was because he was pretty much checking in with parole or probation. His longtime girlfriend had got him an Uber back to their home 10 minutes away, but she realized something was wrong when she tried to call him multiple times and he didn't answer the phone. That's when she immediately called Elijah's grandmother and received the worst news of her life. His grandmother had found him shot right outside of the home and began screaming that he was shot. Being in the street life repping Lewis Park Bloods, Elijah had a strong feeling something was going to happen to him. He was having a hard time sleeping and was super stressed but gave no explanation. For the previous 2 weeks, he was going around apologizing to as many people as he could, even made attempts to fix his wrongs with other people that he fell out with. He was trying to change. He was just stressed out and didn't know which way to go. He needed to get out of Stockton. He just wanted to leave Stockton as a whole, but never gave reason why. So on that Wednesday, Johnson told his girlfriend he had sent her a text while she was sleeping, and it read, he wrote to her saying there were things bothering him in his life. He needed to get away and get his life together. Elijah said he didn't want someone to take him away from his family and his kids, but Elijah had already had a strong feeling death was over him. Less than 4 hours after he sent those text messages, that's when he was murdered. The case was cold for almost 6 years with no leads other than the shooter was a Hispanic male in his 20s wearing a white t-shirt and black pants. Investigators said the motive was unclear, and at the time, Elijah was confirmed to be the target. His girlfriend left a short statement with her voice breaking and said he always told her that something like this may happen and he wanted her to go to school and become something and continue to care for their kids. She just feels sad and hurt. The only comfort she finds in the whole situation is the fact that Johnson made his peace with everyone. Obviously now Stockton already had a lead. Bandz was questioned on this murder before, but he wasn't actually booked. They let him go. And now 6 years later, 7 years later, Bandz is popping, he's doing his music, he's blowing up, he's doing everything he's supposed to do right, and he gets booked for this murder right after catching almost 3 to 4 cases prior to him getting booked for this murder, which was very unexpected from all sides. Nobody expected Bandz to get caught for something that happened 6 years ago. Obviously, he's still innocent until proven guilty, But as of right now, Bandz doesn't even have a bail based on the fact that he's fighting a capital murder charge. With capital murder charges in California, what happens is you're not allowed to be given a bail because of the circumstances of the case. The track record is pretty long, you know. If you look at Bandz' booking sheet, he has a lot of charges on there. Obviously, a lot of those charges will get dropped, and he'll end up with like 3 or 4 charges if he's found guilty. But there is a good possibility that Bandz could beat this case altogether and get acquitted for all charges. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much what I'm saying is it's not always bad news in regards to someone getting booked for a murder. He hired an attorney. Claire White is an expensive attorney. From my knowledge, everyone says that, you know, even retaining her is a lot of money. Hopefully she can do her job and get Bandz out of the situation he's in. But as of right now, I'm pretty sure Bandz is in high hopes. That's why he's rushing everything and he's just trying to get it over with. The situation is messed up, but when you live the street life, that's what it comes with, and I'm pretty sure everyone knows that. What I think about the situation and Bandz deciding to go to a speedy trial is something that he thinks that he has the opportunity to beat the case, so why not, right? There's a lot of people here in this world and, you know, across the country or whatever that have fought murder cases, and there's other people that fought lesser charges. But you know, when you in that county and you sitting there and then time is just going by and you feel like everybody forgot about you and etc., you just want to get it over with and see what your fate is going to be. And that's pretty much where Bandz is right now. He had a very, very strong fan base. He still was dropping music. He had dropped his album while he was locked up. The only thing that's hurting him right now is he can't get out to keep releasing music. He still has the tape out. He dropped a song with Nano, and you know, all his people from over there in South Stockton are keeping his name lit, making sure they saying free him. I don't know if they're supporting him financially in regards to his books and keeping money on his books and things like that. But as of right now, they ain't forgot about him, and neither has his supporters. He still has a big support in regards to his fan base and everything. You know, he said he wants everyone to write him. So if you didn't know, Bandz said everybody could write him, send him letters to the San Joaquin County jailhouse. I'll put the booking information here so you guys can know where to write to, what his name is, and his booking number or whatever. But yeah, as of right now, I'm just, you know, everyone has their days and everyone will face consequences for the lives that they're living. Unfortunately, he does have 2 children, maybe 3, that he's missing out on time with, but it doesn't end here. You get what I'm saying? Hopefully he's able to beat the charges and get back out to the streets for his family and his people, because he was one of the faces of that 3Z and flyboys type of image. You got Dougie doing his thing, you got Band-Aid Snowy doing his thing, and we just got to see where it's going to go from there. But as of right now, like I told you guys, he's going on speedy trial. He's trying to beat the case. Hopefully he can beat the case. Hopefully the evidence that was there 6 years ago ain't the same evidence that's admissible in court now. Anyways, y'all, I appreciate y'all for watching the video. I hope it was entertaining. I hope I can give you guys a little feedback on what's going on and how things are. But anyways, I appreciate y'all for watching. Make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that comment button, and subscribe. You know what to do. Anyways, I'm out.